Hey guys, Ricardo here and welcome to another blog tech tips. Now of course guys, if your LG remote is not working, this is the newest LG remotes. Yours might be a little bit different. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. I will show you to troubleshoot issues with your remote not working. Alright, so I'm going to start with the most common issues and then work my way through and show you how to troubleshoot them. Alright, so first of all, if the remote is not working, one of the first things you want to try, and do not ignore any of these steps, as if you do, it might be a case where you're missing one thing, and the whole order of things is very sequential, so I recommend that you follow along in order to troubleshoot the problem. All right, so the first thing you do, guys, if your remote is not working, is to try to find the source. All right, so we're gonna go to the TV first. Make sure the TV is plugged in. Once you do, guys, you're gonna look for the logo, and as soon as you find the logo, usually there is a button that's beneath the logo on most TVs. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna feel in this area here, and you're gonna locate the power button. In the case of this TV, this is a LG ThinQ AI TV. Doesn't really matter which TV it is. If we feel just about here, you'll feel a raised surface, and that is the power button. Alright, so go ahead and press and hold for about 10 seconds, and what that means that the TV should come on. Alright, so once the TV comes on, next you're going to take your remote, and of course in my remote, I'll show you a problem that's happening with it. And of course, just try to use volume up. Alright, so once you use the volume up, something will need to be playing. So go ahead and try one of the buttons that you'll know will work, such as volume up. As you can see over there, the volume up is working on this TV. Alright, so the volume up is working, and of course, as you just saw, and right away we can tell with this remote. Go ahead now and try to press the power button. Now if you press the power button and there's nothing from the power button, this could indicate that your power button is dead. Alright, it may be the power button or any other button. Now of course, this button here was pressed extensively, and what happened to this remote is that the power button was dead, and seeing power is one of the main features that was used in the TV. The entire remote seems as if it was broken, and you might get the impression that the TV was not working as well. So first of all, I've tested this button. This one is broken. Every other button works except the power button. Now in this case, the remote is still functional. However, it cannot be used to power on the TV. So just in case that is your situation, go ahead and do this. Alright, so what I've realized with this TV is I go ahead and keep it turned on. I do not turn it off from here unless it's necessary when it's powered off, where I try to actually power it from here. So a workaround I've found for my power button issue is to just go ahead, and what I do is to, if I need to turn it off, I turn it off from the power button there. That button as well can be used to do some basic remote functions. So if I press once, the menu will appear, and if I press continually, it will go through. And if I press on hold, I could, for example, turn down the volume. All right, you get the idea. So by moving through, and the instruction is there, volume down. If I wanted to, I just press on hold, and of course I can go back and so on. Very easy. So simply, we can have some functionality there that will help with the remote. Just in case, that's giving you some options. The next thing that works is I leave the TV on. If I do need to turn off the TV, I simply come from here and I turn off the power strip. And as soon as I turn on the power strip, the TV will remember its last state and turn on every time from the power strip. However, it is annoying as I have to actually go ahead and every time and turn it on and off at the source. There's another workaround as well. I have a separate tutorial on that. You can search for the LG app for your TV, or working LG app on your phone that does the remote, and of course I'll link that in the description. And of course you can use that to power on your TV using the remote features. Works on Android, should also work for iOS devices. Now if that is not your issue, another thing could be the batteries in your remote. So go ahead guys and remove your batteries. Several things could be happening here. The batteries could be dead, so go ahead and change out these batteries to new batteries and try to use the remote to power your TV and control the features. If that doesn't work, next thing that might be the issue is that the batteries are oriented wrong. Make sure that the positive and negative terminals are properly aligned. These are basic stuff, but it can be that it's that in the case. Notice the join, there's the positive end, the negative end. So that would be negative end. This is the positive end. What I try to do is to orient the joins on the batteries. So I set this correctly. These are rechargeable batteries from Amazon. And then I actually orient this one as the same over here. Make sure the batteries are in. Also, guys, sometimes you might have a case where, let me show you. Let me just remove one of these batteries. Forgive me, I'm doing this with one hand. All right, make sure there's no corrosion here or here to make sure that the battery is making perfect contact. Also, make sure that the battery is also good. It's not leaking or fully damaged. Other things as well, make sure that when you place these in, for example, if I were to place this in, make sure it's making a firm contact. All right, sometimes these can be worn out and there's not enough contact. Some cases we have added foil paper here to help to increase the contact surface area so conduction can take place. Next, if the battery is all good and the remote is powered, it's not the buttons on the remote, such as the power button. If everything is working fine, power button, volume up and down, and so on. If you have tracked it down to the remote, that the remote is defective, meaning it could be completely dead. What could happen is that you might have a case where the remote is completely dead. In this case, you'll have to search for a new one online. You can check these out on Amazon as well. So for example, you'll go to LG, you'll search LG OEM, that's OEM. So LG OEM remote, and you'll find one that matches your remote. All right. And here's a code here on all remotes, doesn't matter the brand. So you type in that code and get one that's matching to your device. So search for this. Once you do, guys, you should be able to get a matching remote. So you can buy a remote and program it to your TV and it should start working again. If you can't find a matching remote, you can buy a universal remote. So search for a universal remote. With that universal remote, you can actually program it to your TV. It will come in with instructions, and then you can pair it to your TV, and then of course it should start working. All right, just to recap, just in case the remote is not working, culprit number one is usually a damaged power button. There's no way around that. So of course you'd have to do some work until your new one comes, or simply work with the new setup. Second thing, you can buy a universal remote or a replacement remote. That will help as well. Or of course you could do the method where I show you leave the TV on and power it on and off at the strip. The TV will remember its last state and power on from its source without the remote, meaning as soon as we turn it off, turn it on the strip, it will automatically turn on the TV. There's no shutdown options in menu to navigate to. So of course on this particular TV that wouldn't work. And of course, guys, if you can go ahead and buy a new remote, or you could just install the app on your device, meaning you go to the Play Store, search for a remote app, and of course pair it with your TV. All right, and if you do all of those, especially with the LG, you'll find that you're able to easily pair a new app. I'm not recommending any particular app, just simply search through the App Store. I have a separate tutorial on how to download apps. I think I have one for this LG TV. You can check that out. We'll show you the app and of course show you how to download it and use it on your device. And it should work fine, as it should connect to your TV and allow you to do what you want. All right, so I'll end the tutorial here. Do hope that helps with your LG TV to find a workaround, to find a solution to get a new remote and get everything working again. All right, so Ricardo from Blog Tech Tips, saying bye until next time. Bye.